All right, again, let me just take a moment or two to tell you a little bit about the guy that's going to be driving the bus for the next 11 hours or so that in all fairness to you, you know who you're dealing with, okay? First thing I think you need to know about Marty Coates is this. I'm the son of a Southern Baptist minister. I'll give you a few minutes to chew on that. That's going to mean a whole lot more to you tomorrow at 1 o'clock than it does today. Okay? To make that even more complicated, I'm the son of a Southern Baptist minister that does not wear a watch. Now do you get the picture? John said we take a break every hour, but John ain't driving the bus right now. Now and then I might miss that hour mark. Here's what I need for you to do. You're not going to offend me by watching your watch. I need you to make sure I don't go over that mark too often. So if you know that I've been talking for longer than an hour and you need a break, somebody give me a sign. Now, not a vulgar sign, just some kind of sign that lets me know you're ready to go for a break, and I'll get to a slide where we can take a break fairly quickly. Other than that, I'm sort of like the Energizer Bunny on some of these topics. I get on them and I just go and forget about what time it is. And that might be helpful to some of you, but for others, you might need a break. So you're not going to offend me. You would have offended my father, but you won't offend me if you look at your watch. Furthermore, I think it's important that you sort of know a little bit about the kind of information you're going to receive and the kind of presenter that you have. If you watch a Baptist preacher for 50 years, you can't help but pick up on some of his mannerisms and some of the things and ways he presents. So you're going to feel that effect across the next 11 hours. My dad, across 50 years, accumulated lots of notes and quips from people who sat under his sermons for many, many years. I didn't know this until recently when we were going through some of the stuff at his house, that he had packed some of those notes away and put them in file folders, and that's how he would go back and retrieve information for sermons. I know that when I went back through the file, I remembered some of those as I had heard sermons before. And I went through this file and saw this file that was titled Letters from Children. Flipped back through, I said, I remember that one. That's where he got that one from. I remember that one. And I asked him very quickly, Dad, do you mind if I keep this? Now, he's no longer in the ministry or pastoring, but he allowed me to take that folder. I don't know if he really knew what he'd given me, but he'd given me a golden nugget. Being that I present most days to some group somewhere, I was able to retrieve that and say, I can exactly see how to make this applicable to most of my audiences. And here's one of the things I found in there. I found this little piece of paper where he had written down some excerpts from letters kids had written him. And here are some of the things that kids told my dad. Now, I imagine these things were written on the back of a bulletin, when a kid should be listening, but mine was wondering, and they were doodling on the back of a bulletin or on the back of a coloring page from Sunday school in crayon that was written down, and he just folded them up, stuck them in his pocket, patted the kid on their head as they went out the door, I imagine. And then it made its way into that file folder. Here are some of the things that were written down. Alexander, age 10, said this on a note to Daddy. Preacher Coates, please pray for our Little League baseball team. We need God's help for a pitcher. When you're 10 years old and you're a boy, I guess you're thinking about baseball. Things are simple. Roger, age 8, wrote and said, Preacher, I heard you say that God loves everybody. He must not know my little sister. Peter Peterson, age 12, wrote and said, Preacher, please say in your sermon today that Peter Peterson has been a good boy all week long. That's a future car salesman there, isn't it? And the one that probably has the most applicability to you and me and these next few hours together is this. Julie, age 9 or 10, wrote and said, Preacher, I really enjoyed your sermon today, especially when you were finished. So I guess that's how you'll be with me and John and Leslie and Jeff and all the others that you'll be receiving information.